Pronouns! What to do when Latin gets personal. In this video, I'm going to be talking all about Latin pronouns. To help you out on your Latin journey, go and download my 3 simple steps to instantly improve your Latin translations. It's a free guide, it has just a few ideas on how you can immediately take your Latin translations from okay to really good. It's all about fluency, it's all about context. Go and download it from the link in the description below. It will really help you to improve your Latin. Now, what are pronouns? Well, they are used in place of a noun. If I had a sentence, the girl sees the boy, I don't want to then say, the girl greets the boy, the next sentence along. I would rather say, she greets him. So they're used to avoid repetition, and they can also be used in basic sentences as well as complex sentences. So we're going to have a look at them in Latin today. So let's start with the first person. This is I and we. I is singular, we is plural. Here is my table for first person pronouns. If I'm in charge, I use ego, but if I'm in the accusative, if I'm the object of the sentence, I would say me. It's exactly the same as in English. You greet me is the same as me salutas in Latin. Now, as you can see, they change on case and number. Nominatives are only really used for emphasis. That's because in Latin, the verbs tell us who does the action. So I don't need a pronoun. But if I want to say I greet someone, that's when I use ego. Or we do something, that's when I use nos. The genitive is only really used for partitive genitive and objective genitive, so if a verb takes the genitive. That's because, as we'll come to in a little bit, there is something called the possessive adjective. We'll get onto those later. And for the ablatives, me and nobis, if they're an ablative of accompaniment, they need the word cum as well. However, it is not cum me or cum nobis. They combine with the word cum, and we get me cum or nobis cum. So just be aware of those. With me and with us, they combine. Let's have a look at some examples of the first person. Ego laeta sum. Now, as I said, ego, the pronoun, is only really used for emphasis. So this means I am happy, as opposed to someone else who maybe is not quite as happy. Romani nos vicerunt. Now, this one could mean we Romans defeated, but it doesn't say what we defeated. So it's more likely to be the Romans defeated us. Remember, nos can be nominative and accusative in the plural first person. Puellae nobis cum ambulant. The girls walk with us. So here the ablative nobis has been combined with cum because it is an ablative of accompaniment. Let's look at the second person pronouns. So again, we have all the same notes. Nominative is used for emphasis, the genitive is used for the partitive and the objective genitive, and the ablatives combine with cum. So in this case, we have tu, if you're being very emphatic, or vos in the plural. Te is my accusative, and vos is the same as the nominative for the plurals. Now, for the second person, you do have the vocative. It's identical to the nominative. However, we didn't have it for the first person because you can't talk to yourself very easily. But the second person is definitely used for the vocative. You do something. You, I'm talking to you. So we definitely need the vocative in this one. This is the only pronoun that actually does have a vocative. Now, there's a reason the genitive is only used for partitive and objective genitives, and that is because we have something called possessive adjectives in Latin. Now, these are used in place of the genitive pronouns. That's because they are far more common than the genitive pronoun, and they follow the regular 2-1-2 adjective ending. So they're actually quite easy, but that does mean there are a lot of them to remember. So that's why I'm going to make an entire video just about possessive adjectives that will be coming out next time. So make sure you're subscribed so you get a notification about that when it comes out. We're going to leave possessive adjectives for now then, and we're going to move on to third person pronouns. This is he, she, it, and they. This is my sentence from before. The girl saw the boy. She greeted him. Now, in this case, I have 2 pronouns. She, which is referring to the girl, and him, referring to the boy. In English, this is quite easy to spot because she is feminine, as is the girl, and the boy is masculine, as is him. Let's change that second sentence. The girl saw the boy, he greeted her. Again, in English, this is very easy to spot the difference between my first set of sentences and my second. He is masculine, so goes with the boy, and her is feminine, so goes with the girl. Let's look at a similar sentence in Latin. Puella puerum vidit. The girl saw the boy. Eum salutat. Now this is a little bit more tricky. Eum is a third person pronoun. It ends with an M, A-U-M. It is accusative, masculine, singular. That tells me that it goes with puerum. And he is not in charge, so I still do not have a nominative for my second sentence. Salutat is a third person singular verb. This tells me that my nominative is he, she, or it. From my first sentence, I had the girl sees the boy. Now I have something greets, eum, him, masculine. So this, by context, means she greets him. Here are my third person pronouns. You can see in the accusative masculine singular that eum that we had on the previous slide. The feminine would be eam. So if I go back and I wanted it to be he greets her, I would have to change eum, masculine, to eam, feminine. That would then refer back to the girl. Is ea it. This has become a little bit like an adjective in that it needs to be able to agree with all nouns. So we need all the cases, all the genders. There is no vocative case, just note that. So just like the first person pronoun table, there's no vocative section. We do, however, need the plural. A, ai, ea. These follow the regular 2-1-2 adjective endings. So that's quite nice. There's not a lot of new things to learn here. It's just to be aware that they exist. In the plural, they mean they, or they can mean those people, or those things. You will notice that the neuter follows my rule. Remember, every day, neuter plurals end in A. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, I get the girl saw the boy. That's easy to spot because of the different genders. But what if I have this sentence? The girl saw the woman. She greeted her. Now, who is greeting who in this sentence? It's a little bit confusing. Because of context, we would have to imagine that the girl saw the woman, and therefore the girl greeted the woman. But we don't know. It could well mean the woman greeted the girl. Latin is just as ambiguous. Puella feminam vidit, eam salutat. Eam is accusative feminine singular. And so it could agree with either puella or feminam. It all depends who makes most sense to be doing the greeting. So again, just as ambiguous as the English. In this case, I would say from context, it probably makes more sense that the girl is greeting the woman. We haven't necessarily had a change in nominative, so just keep in mind that you do sometimes have to make a judgment call, even with the help of pronouns. Let's talk about reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are used to reflect upon the original subject. So I saw myself in the mirror. First and second person pronouns can be used reflexively. So me paro, I prepare myself. Vos servatis, you save yourselves. Both of these can be used to talk about the same person who is doing the verb. However, third person, is ea id, cannot be used reflexively. Uxor eam necat means the wife kills her, a different person, someone else. That means if we want a third person to be used reflexively, to do something to themselves, we need a new set of pronouns. These are the third person reflexives. Now, the good thing about the third person reflexives is there is no nominative because you've already used the nominative in the original sentence. There is only one set of endings for all genders and numbers, so you only have 4 extra words to learn for all third person reflexives. Se means himself, herself, itself, and themselves, plural. Ablatives again group with cum. Se cum means with him or herself, and it can also mean with themselves. So that's quite nice. It's quite an easy thing to learn. There's only a few of them, so just be aware of them. Here are 2 sentences. Uxor eam necat. The wife kills her. This is using the usual is ea id third person pronoun. Uxor se necat. This is now using the reflexive third person pronoun. The wife kills herself. Se is an accusative. She is the object, but it is referring back to the nominative. Uxor, it is reflecting back to her. It is a reflexive pronoun. Donum eidat. He gives the gift to him. This is to someone else, someone other than himself. Donum sibi dat. He gives the gift to himself. This is a reflexive pronoun. It is referring back to whoever is the subject of that. Don't forget, Sibby could also be herself. She gives the gift to herself. Technically, Sibby can also be plural, themselves. However, dat is a singular verb, so it must be himself or herself. So let's review our pronouns. In first-person pronouns, we use ego and nos, I and we. They can decline based on the case. Ego in the nominative, me in the accusative, all the way down to ablative. The second-person pronouns are tu and vos. Again, in the nominative, these are just for emphasis, but they also decline into the different cases with te and vos for the accusative. Third-person pronouns, is, ea, id. This one exists in all three genders and also both numbers, singular and plural. So that's a big table to learn. The plural endings, however, just follow the regular tu, one, two adjective endings, so that should be nice and easy to get your head around. And we also looked at third-person reflexives. So say, the accusative, is both singular and plural, and there's only 4 cases to learn for that one. Say, sui, sibi, say. I'm going to do a video on possessive adjectives next time, so make sure you keep an eye out for that, as they are a little bit different to genitive pronouns. So keep an eye out, make sure you're subscribed to get notified about that, and do go and download that 3 Simple Steps booklet to instantly improve your Latin translations. I think you'll find it will really help you. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know what you think of pronouns in the comments. Do you like it when Latin gets personal, or do you wish that it wouldn't? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Bambasbat.